Hello everyone, welcome to our next lesson. Today we're just going to be looking at the calculator and some of the buttons that you'll be using throughout the course. This goes for everything, whether you're calculating or whether you are graphing or whether you're using the spreadsheet. We're just going to look at some of the buttons that will pop up over and over again. So let's just go through it. So this is your calculator, the TI-nspire. Some of you have different calculators, the TI-84 or the Casio. If you do have those kinds of calculators, come see me and I can show you how to use those ones as well. But in our class, we are going to be using the TI-nspire. Anyways, some buttons that we would want to look at. So let's say we want to go to the calculate area. Some of the buttons you may have to do, for instance, you have to maybe square root or cube root. For instance, the third root of 27. Other things that you maybe would not need to do is brackets. So 4 plus 5. And then if we put it outside the brackets, times 3. Other stuff we'll be doing logarithms, natural logarithms and logarithms, and they could all be found here, right where your exponential, so e to the power x or 10 to the power x. So logarithms, and look at this, unlike the TI-84, it actually gives you the base. So let's say log of 8, base 2, is equal to 3, and then we've also got our natural logarithms, so ln of some number. If we want to figure out what the ln of e is, down here we've got this button that's got the pi system symbol, the pi symbol. Also there is your value of e, so ln of e is equal to 1, which is what we should have known. Anything else there? We've also got imaginary numbers. We've got pi, as you could see. Imaginary is in the higher level, not so much in standard level class. Okay. If I want to get out of anything, there's always the escape button. This button, this is just maybe a little bit of a shortcut. For instance, if you had 4,000, you could do 4e 3, enter, is 4,000. This is like 4 times 10 to the power 3. That's what the EE button is. Other buttons that you may need. This one. This is your factorial. So if you wanted 3 factorial, it's here. That's equal to 6. Okay. So look and play around with the buttons. There is a lot more that you can do with your calculator. For example, storing numbers, etc., etc. But for now, this is probably the most important buttons that you'll need to use. Also, actually, here is the answer button. That's useful. So if I was doing 3 times the answer that we just got, so 3 times 6 is 18. So that's useful. And sometimes if you want to do 18 times 2, instead of doing answer, you just do times 2 and it automatically comes up with the answer. So play around with your calculator and get used to it. Let's continue on. Next would be our graphing. When we are graphing, some of the buttons that you'll be using, probably the most ones you'll be delete all. If you've already got a graph there and you want to get rid of it, you will be deleting all. I didn't have anything, but if I did, it would be deleting. Other stuff you'll be doing is window zoom. This is so that you can change the x-axis and y-axis to your settings. Standard is how it looks like when you buy the calculator. You can fit it towards your function that you've just created. Or the window settings where you can input what you want the x values and y values to be. Other things, if you want to analyze the graph, so you've just put in a function and you want to find where it intersects the x-axis, that's the zeros. You want to find the minimum point or the maximum point of your function, that's what these are for. And if you wrote two functions and you want to see where they intersect with each other, that's all part of the analyzing graph area. Okay, and I will just escape, and that gets me out of that. Oh, one more thing, I guess, for settings, when we're in the trigonometry unit, whether you want radians or degrees, it's important that you're in the right one, or the sign of x will look very different than if you want it in degrees or if you want it in radians. So just be careful about that. Okay. Let's continue on. Next, I would say maybe we can go to, spreadsheet. So this is like an Excel spreadsheet. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a title like X and Y, and you put some numbers into here. 1, 2, 3. So let's say maybe this is your frequency. Let's call it F instead. So your frequency, there's 2 1s, there's 3 2s, and there's 1 3. All right. And if we want to find information about that, once again, you're always going to the menu. This is statistics, you're calculating statistics, and it's a 1 variable statistics. Number of lists, there's only 1 list that we're looking at, not 2. Then you put your list, which we called was X, and the frequency was we called it F. Okay, and you get your information, you get your mean, get your standard deviation. This is the standard deviation. This is how many numbers we have. This is good for box and whisker plots. So lots of valuable information there. Okay, let's get out of here. Other stuff. When we are in the calculate, let's go back to this. The menu button, once again, is very, very useful. Let's just look at some of the ones that are useful. One, clearing your history. So that clears the screen and I can start over. If we go back to menu, the next one, algebra, sometimes you want to convert your fractions into decimals or decimals into fractions, but there is actually an easier way that you could do this. So let's pretend I have 7 divided by 8, and it gives it 7 over 8. If I want to get it to a fraction, just do control, and this is approximate, so control enter, and it gives it into a decimal. I want to put it back into a fraction, go to menu, numbers, approximate to fraction, and it gives you 7 over 8. Okay, other stuff, well, let's keep going. Algebra, I'm going to ask that you never go to this. And the reason is when you do your final exam, you're for IB, they're going to put the calculator in test mode and all of these are going to disappear. So I would say don't use this. If you want to solve systems of equations or figure out answers for quadratics or questions like that, I recommend that you always just graph. Calculus, obviously when we're doing calculus, what you want to do is you want to be able to find the derivatives or the integrals. So this is going to give you all the information for that. Let's just get rid of that. Also in calculus, you also have this sum notation. This is useful when we're doing arithmetic series or geometric series. So if you've got some function, let's just do x. So x is from 1 to 4. 1 to 4. So that would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Or let's do 40. Why not? And you've got all the numbers, and that's 820. Okay, keep going. The menu also gives you, probability. Probably the most important thing that you're going to be using is the distribution, which gives you information about the normal distribution and the binomial distribution. That'll be the ones you'll be using the most in standard level mathematics. Also, when we are doing the binomial, you're going to have to use a combination. So let's say it's 4 choose 2, and that's equal to 6. Anything else that I can see? Statistics, not really. We don't do vectors anymore, and finance is not used in standard level, just in math study. So this calculator has a lot of potential, a lot of great things that you can use. Play around with it, become comfortable with it, and then it will help you for your paper 2 tests. Hope that helps. Have a good day.